Hello to everyone! Once time again, here I'm going to show you how to paint these primaries. This is the last video tutorial to paint this, and I have a lot of tricks for you in this video tutorial. So, the first trick I'm going to show you how to use decals or transfers. The trick will be, first of all, paint a base coat with a glossy varnish first, then use the decal. If you don't know why I did that, I'm going to show you then. Keep calm. Maybe this is an interesting trick because there are a lot of stuff on the market to use when you use the decals or transfers. But I always recommend just use water, and to use the decal on the miniature, use a varnish, a glossy varnish. The trick will be use enough water, okay? If the decal is sticky, use more water, just that, okay? And then, if you don't feel that you can't glue the decal on your miniature, or it's a lot of sticky, use varnish on it to control and get a wet surface. With a wet surface will be easier to control, okay? Because it's not sticky all the time. And then with the brush, start to remove the varnish. As you can see on the video tutorial, it's easier than you thought. It's the time to use all your transfer you have in your house for your armies. Stop to paint freehand, a lot of time to use it in your army. Okay, can you see? The first at all, I varnished with glossy effect. Then I put the decal on it. And then I'm going to use something new. I'm going to use a matte varnish. Why I use the decals on this way? Because if you have your base coat or your background glossy as the same finish as your transfer, will be better than when you have a satin or matte background. Then you have a satin decal and then you varnish over it, okay? Will be different backgrounds with both items. So if you have everything with glossy varnish, at the end when you varnish again with matte will be perfectly, okay? The surface will look the same, matte. This is an awesome trick. Super cheap, without different materials, just water and glossy and matte varnish. Easy. And now for new tricks. As you know, I love use a lot of rust, colors, nuances, a lot of artistic parts for my miniatures. So I'm going to show you how I paint on a 28mm like this. I love create rust or different nuances or tones on different parts. So if you feel that you didn't paint very well the true metallic, or you didn't paint something very well, this is the moment to use a different color, different something. You can create scratches, rust, something that you want, okay? If you feel that a primaries couldn't have rust, scratches or something like that, okay, don't do it. But if you feel that you want to create something interesting like a warrior in a battle, I think with these easy tricks would be perfect for our marines or primaries. Okay, so new trick. If you feel that you don't know how to paint black color, for example, to paint the weapon, I recommend you paint with a black base coat, directly black, okay? Forget use different nuances or different colors in the mix. Directly black, and then make a mix with a mid-gray, okay? With a bit of light, enough to see on your miniature, but not a high contrast. Paint every edge, okay? Everything. Paint the edge, the top edges and the bottom edges with the same color. And then reinforce just the top edges with more light, okay? With this trick, you will have a black color on your weapon and will be completely defined and will look awesome. New trick. Remember that for that I'm going to show you how to paint easy, quick, all your armies. And if you paint the technical part at the beginning, will be perfect, because if you forgot paint the technical part at the end, you can paint with the best smoothness, the best blending, the best everything. But if you didn't paint the edges, the light laning and dark laning at the end, doesn't work. So as you can see, I'm reinforcing again some light lanings with new color, okay, with lighter gray. If you feel that you can control very well when you painted light laning, don't worry, because you have a flat color on your base coat, so you can remove with black directly, trying to move the brush closer to the lane you have painted. So to fix it will be super easy too. And in that part we will paint everything, every detail the miniature will have, okay? So for this part I create the base coat with a green, and then I have to paint the light laning. You'll listen to me seeing all this video tutorial light laning, because this is super important thing, okay? I want to focus the attention on this video tutorial about the light laning, because if you didn't paint it, at the end nobody will see your army perfectly on your battleground. And as you know, I'm a crazy with the colors and I love create rust. And here another example with different orange or browns to create different rust on the armor, to create something older. For example, another trick, if you didn't paint some light laning, some edges, this is the moment to paint them, okay? You can use the rust to paint the light laning too. If you forgot something, you can use the rust to do it now. I hope this video tutorial will help you to start to paint your army, your complete army, and then send me a picture. For example, if you thought that you didn't paint with enough light, it's not very well defined, don't worry. Keep attention on the stuff that you want to reinforce, create more light, texture, something, and paint it. Just that, okay? If you have to create more light, create the light. And at the end, if you feel that you have painted with a lot of light, too much, don't worry. With the airbrush, you will blend over it and you will bring down the light. Or if you don't feel comfortable with the airbrush, with the brush, okay? Create a glaze and just paint over it. Another trick for that part. I know that a lot of you have painted leather, but I'm going to show you again the same trick as I show you with the weapon, with the bolt gun. Paint both edges, the top and the bottom, with the same color, and then reinforce the light just on the top edge, okay? With this easy trick, you will have defined perfectly the leather in just 2-3 brush strokes. And then if you feel that you want to create scratches or something to get old leather, it's easy because at the same time you have painted the base, the first laid lining, use the same color to create the scratches, and then with the next layer you can reinforce some of them. And again, I'm going to show you how to continue create dust, rust, everything like this on your miniature. Paint with your brush, with your old brush if you want. This is the moment for all your old brushes. So create texture, create dirt on the bottom part of your miniature, on the cloak for example, or the boots will be perfect to create the feeling that your miniature is in the battleground. One trick, remember, paint first the closer part to the ground, the bottom part, okay? Don't paint in the middle of the cape because could be possible have dirt on the middle of the cape, but maybe for the eyes, for the viewers, look weird, okay? And if you feel that you didn't paint random spots, okay, use a foam to create them. Super easy. If you didn't paint never with a foam, you will dip your foam in your paint with water, okay, directly in your paint. You remove some of your paint on a paper towel and then create little touches, okay, on the bottom part as I showed you, and you will create random dust. And this is the moment for your lovely airbrush. Please count how many dots I use. It's not important, but as for the airbrush, as I explained you, a high dilution with a lot of thinner water and less paint, just that. If you use more thinner, at the end the result could be satin, and if you use dirty water, will be matte. Full tricks for this 28mm. Keep attention on the face. For that part, I'm reinforcing the shadows, natural shadows, and shadows that I want to reinforce because I want to create more volume on this miniature. And because it's a little nuances, for sure you can use the same color directly, but little touches, okay? Okay, take care about the magenta and greens, because for example, magenta will be perfect for every skin, but if you want to add green, take care, because could look like the skin is rotten, more like an Argyle god. So take care for that, because this is a primaries and should be alive on the battleground. And again, more little touches. I'm going to show you how to improve and continue improving with little touches in a 28mm. Yes, for sure. This is the part to enjoy and create everything that you want. If you want to focus attention on the face, create non-metallics or like a non-metallic with the armor, this is the trick. Create little brights in some details. Use the light linings, the edges, okay, for that part, because it's easier to control them and to represent that the light is there, and you can define again better the miniature. It's new trick again. And as for the length, for example, I use inks because at the end the result looks satin and it's a different material. Easy when you are painting an army. And for sure, paint the bright. And as I explained you, as for the brights, now on the weapon, again, I reinforce with some little touches to create brights. And this is the result. Just in little points, okay? As you see, 3-4 touches will be enough. And you have painted a black weapon with different nuances with the light lining. Super easy and faster. And for example, as for this, I recommend always create different nuances with different tones, different colors. And for this, it's the same. If you want to create different rust, it's easy to create rust with different tones. As you see, adding a new green will be perfect for our miniature. And this is the end of the video tutorial, and I'm going to show you how to use pigments on the base. I know some of you use a dry brush on the ground. I don't recommend use the dry brush on the base. I don't like it, but if you want to do it, do it. I recommend use a pigment directly on the base coat that you have painted. Choose 1 or 2 colors to create the base coat for the base, and then choose 1 or 2 colors for the pigment. And just as you see, with touches on the ground, easy technique, you can get this result more natural than when you use a dry brush. And if you had some mistakes or something, use the airbrush to remove flowing air, to remove some areas, and will be perfect. And if your miniature will be to play with them, please use a pigment fixer, okay? Because if you touch the miniature at the end, maybe you will have pigments on your fingers. So this is perfect to fix. And again, if you want to create different texture on your miniature with this kind of touches on your brush, you can use again pigment, but with thick spots. And this is everything. I hope you have enjoyed this video tutorial. I think it's super easy to paint and you will enjoy painting on this way. So thank you very much to be there, helping me to continue improving and sharing all my point of views about the miniature world. So this is the example, this is the miniature. Thank you very much again, and I hope you see you in the next video tutorial. Will be the non-metallic metal, a full miniature. So keep attention on next video tutorials. Bye bye.